All right. Welcome to the Town of Litchfield Recreation Commission meeting. Tonight is Tuesday, January 11th, 2022. The time is 7:33 p.m. We are meeting in person at the Town Hall Conference Room and may have some other commission members join remotely this evening. At that time, we will vote them in. So for now, we'll just go with a regular roll call vote. If we do see them participate.
Sorry to interrupt you, Steve, but Weber's waiting for the Webex to join. That's what he just texted me.
Is that the right Webex?
See here.
Thought it was the one that always went out, the same one. John sent it out earlier.
Sent to everyone.
Yeah, should be just the town hall link.
Oscar, I'm going to send it to you too in case you
Yeah,
have a different one.
I'm actually able to connect from here if I wanted to.
You can see it.
Showing up as a participant yet?
So you'll get twice the pay.
Yeah. I had 2 votes. There's a whole verification code.
Steve's using the one that John sent.
Yeah, I just clicked on that one.
All right, give us a minute while we some technical difficulties.
I can watch on YouTube, but he can't vote on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think he's in pajamas and he doesn't want us to see him.
Is he saying if he's in? No, right?
No, he said he's using the one that John sent, but he can't get in.
All right, we'll move forward. We have, like you said, we do have enough to continue.
Oscar, I emailed you the link that John sent, so I don't know if you want to check and make sure it's the same one.
This has been everybody's year for the last 2 years, right? You're muted. Do you have the link? We can't hear you.
I don't know to tell if this is the same link.
Go on the very top. You have meeting info. Right in the middle, yep. Webex join.
26336.
Meet instead of join, but I don't think that'll matter. 263. They have a different meeting code. Meeting number.
So there's one on the town website as well.
Yeah, there's a difference is this one is meet instead of join. LitchfieldWebex.com. Join is what you have up there, and ours says meet. I don't know if they're the same or not. How about the access code at the very bottom?
I think it's different.
It's
Because
different.
the meeting number is different too.
Yeah.
I think that's just us.
Meeting code. Yeah, different meeting code as well.
Is there another place you can access it? Because we could copy the meet. I could copy the meeting link and send it somehow.
Can you access email on there?
Where's the first time? I don't know what email this is on here. Probably should toilet.
Right. We'll move
We can
forward.
just plow through.
Yeah, we'll move on. Sorry, Steve and Peter. You have the night off.
Tell
Okay.
him to go watch us on YouTube.
Yeah. All right, so we'll start off with a roll call of members present. My name is Steve Gannon. I am the chairman. I am present. Mr. Andy Ruggles. Mr. Mike Bosky.
Here.
Judy Brennan.
Present.
And Mr. Christopher
Sorry,
Burns.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's
I
here
was-
too.
You're busy.
I'm here.
I'm also having technical difficulty.
All right, right, so we do have a quorum of 5 members. Mr. Jeff Town already notified me earlier that he would not be present tonight. Consideration of previous meeting minutes. I'm going to table the meeting minutes this week until I can review the previous meeting minutes. I know Mr. Sullivan noted that what meetings we still need to approve, but I wasn't able to create the list before tonight's meeting, so I'll follow up on this and send out the list prior to the next meeting. All right, public input. We do have a gentleman sitting with us this evening. That'll be you, sir. Why don't you come on up to the table, say your name and introduce yourself, name and address. Is really
Rick Gamache, 1 Homestead Court, Litchfield, New Hampshire. Just access for talent. Pitcher catcher Monday nights, 8 to 9. That's when it's open. And just wondering if basketball does have it till 8, or are they? I know they schedule it, but I don't know if they have it until 8.
Right.
Because I do 7 to 8 because it is kind of late, but I know it's open 8 to 9.
I'll send them a message right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they end, what days?
On Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, I looked at the calendar. They have it till 8, but I know sometimes they book it, and if it's not used.
Yeah, we also requested basketball to stagger their start times. I don't know if this is reflecting that start time. That way we don't have
Okay, no
a
worries.
bunch of
Yeah.
people.
Well, I'm requesting 8 to 9. I know it's open. So
And when were you looking to start this?
next week.
Next week. And do you have a certificate of insurance?
I can be representing LGSL as a board member,
Okay. So this would be pitching and catching for
just pitching, catching.
softball.
But it's high school, but it's just town.
For
So,
softball?
softball, yeah.
So old GSL probably has a certificate on file.
Yeah.
If not, we will. It is a new year. I don't know how they run
They run January,
to
yes.
January, so probably.
Yeah, so it's in process,
Okay.
I would assume.
You talking with LRBL right now, Andy?
Yeah, I'm sending them a message right
Okay.
now.
Obviously it's all Litchfield students.
Yeah.
8 to 9 p.m. Talent Hall. I know 7:30, 5 to 8. Is that typically, sorry to bug you again, Andy. Do they run 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. or do they have 5 to 6, 6 to
I don't
7?
know. That's what they request, but
Usually if they're running it, it's usually hour blocks.
Hour blocks.
Within whatever. If they have 3 hours, it's usually 3 different practices. So
Gotcha.
I'm not sure what they're doing with the whole request for time splits.
Yeah, I know.
Spread things out because of COVID. So
Right. So it might actually they may be running up to an hour later because we asked them to stagger at least 15 minutes. But I think they were going, they'll be a half hour later. If they go 5, 6, 15. We may be able to squeeze you in there at 8:30.
Okay, just
Tell you what, we'll
kind of late.
we'll move on it, and then we'll let you know the
Just
hours
let
that
me
they're
know.
available
Yeah.
once we got confirmation when the hall is free.
How many participants are you expecting?
Not more than 10. It's going to be probably, we have this year, well, we do have 3 freshman pitchers. Obviously, we need catchers. So, I mean, not more than 10 people.
So I don't know if it helps. I know that girls softball tends to have the gym the entire day on Sunday
Okay.
for their clinics.
We have the high school on Sunday.
Okay.
This is just something it works out scheduling wise, and we've used talent to do this for the last, I don't know, for as long as I've been coaching at the high school, which has been, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, we're talking about doing about an hour for pitchers and catchers for 10
Okay.
and up.
Yeah, I
On
saw that you
Sundays,
had it
so-
scheduled for, I know you have it like from 2 to 3 or something like that, or
I forget what time
Yeah,
they
I
selected
looked-
for
I-
that, but
on Sunday, but we have the high school on Sundays. And then we're just scheduling, just trying to get, we don't have a normal time. So that usually works out with just pitchers and catchers there. Because we only have 3 catchers. And then 3 freshmen that can pitch. No sophomores, I don't believe. And then 2 sophomores and 2 seniors. 2 juniors, 2 seniors. I think that's it.
And what night again? Monday?
Mondays.
Mondays.
Yeah, I got it filled out.
Okay. Also, at this time, we have a mask policy in place that if they
Yeah,
are
we
not,
do too at the high school.
yeah, okay. If they're not actively exercising, we request them to wear a mask. Or if they can't distance more than 6 feet, like what we were finding is a lot of parents are coming in to sitting on the stage. And
Yeah,
there's just too many people. So
They'll just be the high school kids.
Just the
So
high
it's just going
schoolers.
to be no more than probably, with the way their schedule goes, it's probably not going to be more than six girls. It's just I need some so girls can go throw for half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yep.
I know it's only one night right now. That's all we can get them to. It's optional. Everything.
I think let's see, when does LRBL, they end in February, so come March, so all of March you'll be able to have,
Yeah, we just needed to. We start the 20. So it'd just be to the week before the 21st because that's the week we start high school, and then we'll be at. We'll have our regular. We'll be in regular practice.
right, gotcha.
Normal stuff.
All right, so I'll make a motion to allow not LRBL, Litchfield youth soccer, not soccer, yeah,
Softball.
softball,
We need
LGSL.
cue cards.
Yeah, too many acronyms. All right. I will make a motion to allow Litchfield girls youth softball or softball league to use Talent Hall on Mondays from 8 to 9 p.m. contingent that we work with LRBL to adjust the
Whatever
time
that- I know.
accordingly.
Just
As soon as I know, Rick,
yeah,
I'll
just
let you know.
just let me
I
know.
think I got your email.
Or just
If not, I have Colleen. So
yeah, just text my wife or whatever.
On Mondays from January 17th through March 21st, 2022.
It'll probably be the week before that, but that's when I think I just put it the 21st. But I think the week before is when the high school
Starts up.
split starts.
You're aware of the mask requirements, and if you will provide us a certificate of insurance as soon as possible, that would be appreciated. I'm sure that's easy for you to obtain.
Steve would have it, I think. Steve Weber should be able to get that.
if it's under softball, we probably already
Right.
have
Yeah,
it.
you probably have all our
Should have it.
Again, they're
softball
the same.
because this is part of the reason why I'm still a board member. So I'm the ASA representative for the board.
All right, so Steve Weber.
They haven't kicked me off
But
yet.
we should already have it.
Yeah, I would think so. But if it runs January, you may need a reminder.
Be expired.
You know, a lot of them we're gonna have to remind everyone, I think. There's a lot of them run out
Yeah, they run out in January, but they
January, February, March, that area.
January, and then they have to it's this month that they run out.
I'll second your motion.
Thank you. Any further discussion? No? Okay, we'll do, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstains, motion carries 5-0-0. Work with Andy. He'll set you up with the times to figure out when you can get in there. And if you don't already have a code, I'll get that.
Just
to you
email.
as well.
You'll have Andy have my email.
Yeah,
so
I'll get
you've
one
got
from
my email
Steve.
too. Just let me know.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. Just we just need the girls to throw a little bit.
Yep, no problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
Have a good night.
Rick, if
No.
you need it when you're in there, the kitchen's all been cleaned out. And we've got,
have the code. Do I ask?
No.
we'll send it to you.
Yeah, we'll get it to you.
But the kitchen's all been cleaned out and we're keeping some of our softball stuff in there now if you need anything like bases or whatever. Okay.
We'll put the mats down for the girls catching and
Okay.
do the normal stuff.
Okay.
What we've always done. So it's just we gotta get it for. Okay.
Take care.
Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good night. Steve, just as a cleanup item too, LBA never got added to the talent schedule for Sundays.
LBA.
Litchfield baseball.
Really? I thought they were. All right. Well, everybody has access to the calendar. It's
I don't
just-
know how to get to it.
Okay. Well, I'll show you when it's just go through your Google account, go to Google Docs, and then there's a calendar. And when you
Okay.
update you should have access. When you update the fields and rec, it'll automatically populate on the webpage.
Okay.
I'll walk you through
That'd be
afterwards.
great.
All right. Moving on. Facility and field requests. Litchfield Youth Soccer League, Talent Hall, indoor soccer practice and training on Saturdays, February 5th through March 26, 2022. This came from Brian and Jen Bork. They're looking for 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Immediately, I see that there is a conflict because LRBL has Talent Hall from 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. So we could request them
10 a.m. to 11 p.m.
7:30 a.m. to 2:30
for
p.m.
the request.
10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Yeah, get me.
Oh,
I was like, I was trying to go back to find the actual request because I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't imagine he requested that much time. I'm
No.
like,
So what we'll have to do before we really can approve this is work with LRBL to see. Actually, they're in there till 2:30. So if Brian and Jen are okay with going in at 3 p.m., they could do it for the month of February, and then go back to 10 a.m. in March, or just retain the 3 p.m. time slot. And we'll also need their certificate of insurance.
that's on
It's
file.
on soccer. We have that.
That one,
Yeah, we have soccer's.
okay. It's on file. I did not see it.
So who's in there? So someone's in there from 10 to 11?
Basketball has it from 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. They were like 8 to 2 or something, like 8 to
Right.
1. But then when we asked them to stagger their times, they fell basically till like 2 p.m. So it's free after 3 p.m.
Okay.
or at 3 p.m. So if they could do 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. or whatever for February, and then LRBL is done in March. Would you mind following up with him, Mike, and tell him?
I'll follow up.
So 3 p.m.'s on, what were they looking for? Saturdays
Yeah.
for February and March, if they keep it that way. And then I'll look up the COI, and then we will approve them at the next meeting, because next meeting's on the 25th, and they're looking to start on February 5th. And if they're willing to adjust, then it'll be easy to slide them in. So we'll table this one. Next
Well,
one,
I think we should vote on it, right? Because aren't they?
you want to vote on a contingent to the 3 p.m. time slot?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that way we don't have to have a special meeting or something.
All right, I'll make a motion to allow Litchfield Youth Soccer League to use Talent Hall for indoor soccer practice training on Saturdays, starting February 5th, 2022 through March 26th, 2022. Contingent on the start time of being at 3 p.m. till 4 p.m. I guess it would be. They're looking for 1 hour.
A second.
Any other discussion?
How long is basketball in there till through vacation, after vacation?
They're asking from, so LRBL is in there until the end of the month, end of February.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were going through, I mean, in the past, usually they, at the end of, like, they're done at vacation time, which is why I was just asking.
They requested till the 28th of February.
Okay.
So starting the 5th of March, it's free.
Yep.
So if they want to do 3 p.m.s on February and then go back to 10 a.m. in March, or just stay with 3 p.m., whatever
Right.
works for them. Any other discussion? All right, we'll do all in favor. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays and abstain. Motion carries 5-0-0. Thank you, Mike, for running with this and talking with Brian and Jennifer.
Just an aside, we have the softball. We have the softball's coverage of insurance. It's good through 2/1,
February 1st.
February 1st.
Yeah, so pretty much all the leagues have to.
Everything. Well, what does flag run? You just sent the flag one. Does that run
What's that? Sorry.
the coverage of insurance on flag? Do you know when that ends?
I don't know what that
I mean, we should send. I mean, I'll send it. I can send it out an email to all the leagues saying to make sure they've re-upped with the state in terms of the background check.
Yep.
And then just a reminder about some of them have their coverage of insurance running out. Send us a new one as soon as they have it. I mean, it's probably. I mean, you figure baseball, softball, lacrosse all run out usually renew in the first 2 or 3 months of the year. Soccer is July to July or August to August or something.
So typically the insurance goes on an annual basis, but it depends on when they.
Yeah,
obtain it.
baseball's is up February 1st, but we have to charter a team, at least one team, in order to re-up it.
Oh, really?
It's based on the number of teams that you have.
So Litchfield Fire and Police, Bob Bada and Jake Dodge are looking to hold another 5K road race. They're looking to use Town Hall and Roy Memorial Park in general, kind of like what they did this past summer. Saturday, September 10th at 2022. They're looking to go from 7 a.m. to about 2 p.m. They want to use talent for the restrooms and for registration. Last time they used the parking lot for a touch a truck event. I don't know if they'll be doing the same, or they'll just be using the entranceway where they had the clock. I assume they will also have to provide us a certificate of insurance. And that'll be it. So, except to make a motion to allow Litchfield Fire and Police 5K road race with Bob Bada, Jake Dodge on September 10th, 2022 from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. contingent that they provide us a certificate of insurance at that time.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying yay.
Aye.
Nays and abstained. Motion carries 5-0-0. Last one is Scouts. Mr. Curtis Sampson, the Cub Master. They're looking to use Talent Hall for their Blue and Gold banquet Sunday, February 20th, 2022 from 1:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. The certificate of insurance is already on file. Theirs runs March to March. LGSL is in Talent Hall before and after. And I believe the time they have gives them enough time to get in, set up, hold their banquet, and then clean up and be out of the building before LGSL comes in.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, how many participants?
About 100, it says.
About 100.
Okay. I did look at it, but I didn't remember.
All right. So I'll make a motion to allow Scouts BSA through Mr. Curtis Sampson use of Talent Hall for the Blue and Gold banquet on Sunday, February 20th, 2022 from 1:30 to 4:30 p.m.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
So being a banquet, are they bringing food in? And
Yeah, it did say they would have food. They didn't specify what.
And they're aware of the mask mandate and may change by then, but
Yeah, the Scouts are always really, really great on that kind of stuff. They have their own policies and procedures, and I think they already have it where if they're in the building, they have to wear masks. And they do a great job of cleaning up and making sure everything is in line with what we want.
What, did we change what the last meeting when we voted, because now I can't remember off the top of my head, did we change the capacity we said could be in town hall?
I didn't
Yeah, I
think
think it
we
was-
changed the capacity. We just brought in
Thought
the
that did
mask,
change.
right?
I think
Oh, it
it did
did?
change. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure it was over 100,
Yeah, I think it's
like
120.
120. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds about right.
Yeah, I think that's what I read on the wall too. I think it was 120. If you were to put everybody at 6 foot increments, you could squeeze like 120 in there safely or something. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays and abstained, motion carries 500. I will let Mr. Jeff Town know, and he'll pass the information along to Curtis. All right, new business, goals and events for 2022. Miss Brennan.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys typically do that at the beginning of the year because I came on late. I know we do a lot of scheduling and field use and DARA, that type of stuff, and talking about field maintenance and all that. But I don't know if you guys set a couple goals or plan to have events in advance. You know,
We
plan
have
for that,
in the
like,
past. I know of, maybe Mike can speak for farther
No,
back.
I
but-
mean, let's put it this way. I mean, the things that used to be scheduled was the Winterfest.
Oh,
when
yeah.
Winterfest was
Okay.
around. But really, there wasn't anything else scheduled.
Okay.
Well, now there's the Christmas in Litchfield. That's scheduled. That's under us.
that we sponsor, it is under us?
That's
Oh, okay.
sponsored by us.
All right,
But
yeah, no, it's
besides
not
that, those are really the only two things we've sponsored for the last number of years.
Yeah.
Everything else is brought to us either piecemeal or comes up
But
as
the
we
rec
go along and
commission
everything.
as a unit just basically does scheduling and field maintenance stuff, but doesn't sponsor any of, or it doesn't lead any events. Like, I would like to, we have so many trails and I would like to get some groups out there who are new to hiking or would use the trails if they knew where they were, lead some of those hikes. I don't know if anybody's ever done like any of moonlight snowshoeing out there, where you go into the state forest. It's like amazing, and you go all the way to the power lines. And I think people just might not be familiar with the trails, but they're not just spring. And I wouldn't even lead a night one in the summer or when all the bugs are out there. Maybe even to, if we have the interest, getting a little kids intro to hiking group going and finding sponsors to, if they go to the sessions, help them with a backpack and a headlamp and learn the essentials of hiking. I mean, we have so much here in town. I know it's not all our property. So when I joined the commission, it was kind of like I wanted to get some more things going for different ages in town. I'd really like our town to become one of the AARP livable communities, which is not, it sounds like it's just for your olders and retired, but it's really recreational opportunities for all, whether handicap or age. There's a lot of grants that open up to you when you can get that standing. And I think like the Conservation Commission is going to put in an ADA approved trail. And I think we have a lot of things like building up in town that would make us qualify to be listed as one of their towns. I think there's only 11 in New Hampshire. But then the amount of grants they give out are huge, and you can build anything, do anything from a playground to a part of a bike trail or ramps into a building, or you can be like really creative with it. And it's kind of like a quick act thing where you can apply. They let you know in April if you're accepted. If your plan's accepted, you have till November to implement it. So you can't build a building, or you can't, but I'd like to start offering more, trying, and I know everybody's like hooked up with different sports. And when I used to be the softball rep. So I used to come to these meetings, almost everyone as a softball rep. So I know you guys all have like your little things that you're doing. And as far as scheduling goes, like I hate numbers and I have no desire to be part of scheduling or anything with numbers and unless it's money. Then that's okay. But I'd like to start at least initiating some of that kind of
Yep.
stuff, looking into it. I don't know, as a rec commission, do we need a separate certificate of insurance to do something
I
like
think
that?
if we sponsor it and we're running it, it falls under probably the town
Okay.
insurance.
Right.
So just something to think about. We don't have to vote as to whether we want to do that, but I just wanted to throw a few things out there.
I mean,
Like-
it's always been like, the idea is anyone's welcome to come with an idea. Like
Yeah.
your idea, someone could come to us and say, I'd really like to run
Right.
this. I'd like to bring it under the rec commission. So it's covered by insurance or whatever.
Yeah.
Then there's just the certain policies that you have to become a volunteer. You have to become a volunteer of the town. You have to pass those checks. I mean, there are certain things to do with how your money is passed through,
Right.
has to come through us and things of that nature. But anyone here, any of us could do it,
Yeah.
any person coming in. Usually if there's a person coming in who wants to do it, then one of us would have to be like the rep, like Peter does with Christmas in Litchfield.
Right.
Someone just has to be on
Yeah.
there from our commission to represent, but people are more than welcome to do it. Like when we started lacrosse, we came under the rec commission
Right.
so we didn't incur insurance costs.
Okay.
And then later on, when what happened is the insurance changed, the way the coverage changed. So at that point, you basically had to split off. Well, we had to split off. It wasn't going to work
Yeah.
in terms of how funds were being handled and things like that. But as lacrosse, we started off under the rec commission for 3 or 4 years.
Well, I don't want to start like a hiking club or anything, but just like, recreation commission under this person, or maybe in conjunction with conservation, is going to, if you haven't been through the Litchfield State Forest, you're interested in going with the group and learning the trails, or you like to snowshoe, but you're worried about maybe getting lost.
Yep.
Or you'd like to do a nighttime snowshoe or hike, but you're really worried about getting lost. So, just a few things like that. And obviously with snowshoeing, it would have to be, you couldn't do it 2 months out. It would have to be a little bit closer. But I think if we got the word out, there might be.
I think it's a great
Interest
idea,
out
and I do think you'll get people. It's almost, as Mike was saying, we sponsor it, and then we could do it and we could provide it. When it gets to the point where you're like baseball, soccer, and you're collecting funds, and then that's kind of when
Yeah,
they
no, I
split
don't see
off.
us collecting any funds,
No.
but
No, it's a just like
right.
Exodus in Litchfield. It's a subcommittee of the rec, and we could do it where you could have a hiking club. Well, you don't want to have but you could have a structured learning on how to hike, how to snowshoe. and
like
all
when
that.
I was talking to a couple people, like I love going out at night and doing the snowshoeing. They're like, oh, I would love to do that. I don't know the trails well enough. But that brings up, I don't want to keep this here too long. I ordered these. I don't know. Have you been on the trails at night at all? Anybody?
No,
Three Sisters, do you ever? Okay, so
I've been on those trails. I know every trail out there.
So they, the Three Sisters, I noticed once when I took it back, has little reflectors on the trees.
Oh, that's
That
cool.
your headlamp or your phone or somebody, and it doesn't even have to be, sometimes you can be out there and the sun just goes down. And I ordered these from Amazon, and I know we only have Parker Park that we could use them at. But what they do is they light up the trail. If you're out there when it is snowing, it can be very easy to lose the trail, but you can just take a peek at them.
Yeah.
So Parker Park would be the only one we have authority to put any of those on.
But
trail,
I mean, you
but-
could easily
Yeah, those are cool.
But,
join forces with conservation.
yeah, and I was thinking the new trail we put in, Roll the Dice, is on town property. So I could talk to Steve Weber about that. And because the Board of Selectmen, right, would have to approve us going in and putting those on the trees.
Is that town or is that conservation?
Town.
It's
That's
town. That one's town. But I know there's a whole thing with
And,
like,
well-
leave no trace. And I'm familiar with it, but that also can become a safety issue too. If the sun goes down and people are in there and they,
Right.
especially in the winter.
Yep.
It's not
I think
always easy
especially
to
with
follow a
the-
trail.
But if you're going to use those, I would never have, if I was out there and I saw them, I'd probably stop following along. But if you can instruct people that we're going to mark the trails using this.
Yeah.
and-
Well, then I think if people know that they're out there too, because you can be out there and all of a sudden the sun goes down and it's not as easy to
Right.
see everything,
Your
but they're
headlamp.
cheap enough. I think 100 of them were like under $10, but I didn't want to just go stick them up because I didn't want anybody coming after
I like
me.
it.
But
As we said, we have the fishing derby that we're in conjunction with conservation, Xmas and Litchfield, but there's no reason why we can't do more with the property that we have access to. And I know the conservation, well, they should be open to it. I would see
and
why
I might
not.
check. Well,
Then
I
maybe
think it's
approach the state
Harry.
about
I've watched
trails.
some of the meetings. Harry has a good background in hiking and the 10 essentials and all that stuff too. So maybe it's something I can collaborate with them and we just do a couple little things, and it could be kids and adults.
Yep. So what I would say is if
I would join you. I love.
All right.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds like fun.
Maybe I'm thinking if
Don't
I
let
get
him show you how
approval,
to
you can
ride
come
the
help me with
mountain
these.
Yeah.
He's offered to let me try
I
it.
did. I
I'm
offered to let her
scared, yeah.
use mine. She said no.
It's too expensive
I
thing to
can't
let
use
someone
mine for
borrow.
about 6 months. You
But
can
I
have
would
it.
count on you to come out with me and help me mark the trails
Yeah,
with these.
sure.
But they're just little push pin tacks, and if you're out there with your phone, it reflects off there
Yeah,
very
How many
easily.
legal trails are out there now?
Legal?
On the Litchfield side?
Yeah.
1 or 2.
2.
Like the rest, I think, are pretty much.
Well, there's a main one that doesn't have a name. There's Roll the Dice.
Yeah.
There's Boulder Dash.
Is it wiped out though? I haven't been out there.
Oh,
I assumed it was just gone with the logging.
I think they're still partially there.
I
Some of them.
don't.
I haven't been out
That
there.
Calvin's Loop, that beautiful one, is totally
I know.
gone.
It's a bummer.
But I know there's money, right, to put a bridge out on
Yep.
Parker Park and
Yep.
stuff, so trails can be expanded there. So
There's not a huge area there though. I've walked down.
No,
there
but
before.
there was,
There's a plan to expand
to
it with the
expand it.
garden and everything
Yeah.
else.
yeah, behind the garden, behind the farm.
Yep.
Back there and
Yep.
connect all the way down. So
And we do have money in the budget where if you need like tacks or snowshoes or something to make it more functional, headlamps and all that, that we could definitely, if you seed money to get it going, we definitely have. If it bring
So
up some
then-
interest.
I don't want to ask for a vote or anything tonight,
No,
but
no,
I
that-
just wanted to bring it up so that I will look at some dates and conceivably put them out pending weather. You
Yeah.
can't snowshoe if there isn't snow.
Yeah.
but-
Exactly.
And if I can get permission to put these out, if you want to come and help, that would be great. You know the
Sure.
trails well too. And
Yeah.
I just think, I hope conservation would go along with that because it's a big help if you do get lost out there. I've been
Yeah.
lost when it snows and I'm like, it's good. I find myself on a pond and I'm like, it's a good thing it's frozen through because
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, do it. Like, try to think of what you'd like to see during the summer, during the winter,
Yeah.
etc. Snowshoeing or hiking and just the different things. Some night hiking, maybe the day hiking first to get people familiar with.
Yeah.
And then, we could put it on the calendar. We could put it on the WhatsApp page and let people know about it.
Yeah.
I think you would definitely see a lot of interest, especially,
I mean, we have that right here. It's so close.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm sure a
and
lot
it's
of
just a
people don't want to
totally,
go
I know
out
it sounds
there.
weird. It's a totally different experience at night
Oh yeah.
and when there's snow out.
There's a full
And I
moon.
would think
Yep.
a lot of people don't want to go out there because they're not familiar with
They're
it.
not
There's a
familiar.
lot.
And
And then if
then
they're not wearing, they're going out there flip flops. You,
Right.
you need to be able to
if
tell
I
them
can get
proper shoes.
everybody involved in agreement with putting these out, that helps too. And people know that there's reflectors and they're not that distracting. I never noticed them during the daytime. I noticed it when it was getting dark one night and I took out my headlamp and started reflecting. And I was like, oh, wow.
And I imagine they come in different colors, right? So you can maybe
They're all
mark.
like a white.
Yeah, but can you get like blue? So can you mark like
I only saw
different trails
this
in different colors?
I only saw this color as a reflective, at least where I looked. Like, I don't think darker colors would reflect. I think it's the
Oh,
kind
like
of
a
paint that's on
blue
there.
or a red or something.
But
Like
most
a
of the
yellow or
trails,
an orange.
oh yeah.
Yellow and orange.
But some of the trails are marked with colors. Some are purple,
Brown.
Yeah.
some are blue, some are, yeah. But I just it was like very obvious as I was going down and it curved that you could see it in front of you if you had your headlamp or if you used your phone. It's just a good kind of safety thing
Pretty
too
cool.
for people.
Yeah.
So then I'll follow up with
Like,
Talk
yep.
to Steve and conservation about,
I think Matt moved their next meeting towards the end of the month, so you might want to get on their agenda.
okay.
Ask your husband; he'll know. Facility use request deadlines. Are we done with that topic? Are we okay
Yep.
to move on? Okay.
So, and I hate to say this used to be in place, but it seemed like it helped with scheduling when the rec commission would have like 3 dates per year or 4 dates where the major groups would get their requests in. So you were only dealing with scheduling for use of Dara Pond for whatever it would be November, end of February, with the requests all on one night. And with the reps there, and that they could work together and come together with a schedule instead of, and then if you had like a one-time thing like the Scouts or something like that, then that would be whenever it came up. It just seems like we spend so much time at almost every meeting on scheduling.
So at one point, I mean,
So-
at one point, Andy had talent every quarter. There was a scheduling meeting, and everyone would sit down. It was offline from here.
Okay.
Because we had tried to streamline more of the leagues that use it all the time. If
Yeah.
your info's in, whatever, show up at the meeting, do it. You don't have to put in formal requests. It's at the meeting. It's all done. People can work out the times. When COVID hit and everything shut down, it kind of course, shut out all that
Okay.
down.
Yeah.
And since we come back, it's been so haphazard in terms of, is talent going to be open? How much is talent going to be open?
Right.
When is it going to open? That I think we got away from that. You know what I mean?
So
the field,
this really is just a result of COVID. It wasn't.
yeah, I mean, the fields outside, you know, what I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
each league has really their own stuff, and they'll
Yeah.
come in at the beginning of the season when they know what they need
Right.
to schedule. Especially now, since we've asked them to kind of hone in more in terms of
Right.
it, you're going to need to the request. While the request may come in from soccer in March saying we need the fields these days, if we want a better schedule, then we're going to have to either ask for the bigger request in March and then to come back in and have a more focused one
Yeah, time.
mid-April, say. And I'm sure it's the same thing with baseball. Like baseball and softball, they're going to get out there
Yeah.
and be like, well, we need these days. We're going to need these days for tryouts and these days for this. We don't know exactly when teams want to practice or teams are
Right.
going to practice or things like that.
Well,
So-
yeah, let's start out kind of broad and come
Right.
in.
So
But
you-
I think
I
it's
mean-
more for Dara,
It's more for
talent
more
hall.
for
I mean,
talent
talent
hall.
hall.
So-
because you got winter softball, winter baseball,
Well,
you got
I think the big thing is
basketball.
we came in where honestly the beginning, like I think we were kind of headed towards like seeing where that quarter went, and then all of a sudden Cubs came. Was it Cubs or was it Scouts? I don't know which one came in and asked, and then someone else came in and asked, and all of a sudden now we have like 3 requests for talent space on random spots. Meanwhile, basketball, who's the main user of it,
right.
hadn't come in yet. So should we try to go back to trying to figure out a more quarterly schedule? Probably.
Well,
You
I
know what
think like whatever sports season is in should have that priority.
and that's always
But if
the way
you
it
had
was.
someone from basketball here, certain date, and you had a representative of softball who wanted to get some winter clinics in,
Mhm.
there might be less back and forth communicating
Yeah, you mean
between. I mean, it might just save some time. It was just a thought.
no. And as I said, that's how it was.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then basically we shut down pretty much facility requests for a year.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
So-
There was a pretty much a running regular routine where they knew they had to be in by a certain time and all that. But then
Okay.
that the breaks went on, and then as Mike was saying, some places like the church told the Scouts you can't be in here anymore. We had youth wrestling was trying to come in because the
Right.
school
I had
still there.
never heard.
And then all of a
yeah,
sudden,
yeah.
and that's something we talked with people about. It's the amount of use for Talent Hall increased because they had
Okay.
no place else to go.
So wrestling typically did not.
no,
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 wrestling was
no.
usually
I
at the high
always
school.
saw it
They're
at the
always
high
at
school.
CHS,
I was going to say,
yeah.
yeah.
But now that they're back at the high school, but initially
Okay.
when they asked, they were told no. And then the Scouts were in the basement of the church. It probably wasn't the best location. Talent Hall is definitely more fitting for them.
Mhm.
And now we just got to work out but typically, we all knew basketball was
All
in
right.
Talent
I didn't
Hall.
realize that it was like so haphazard just because things had been
It
shut
was-
down and then it was
yeah.
open and everything.
It
Okay.
really went sideways at that.
Okay.
And some of the leagues didn't come back. And then some of them like softball, I don't think you've ever done. Did you do winter clinics before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They've
Softball
been
and
doing it
baseball are
for
always in there, but
years.
softball and baseball, again, it's one of those, they were never in there until after New Year. So it was like, you kind of knew, like, honestly, it was kind of, you got used to the routine. Like basketball
Yeah.
would start up sometime mid-October, goes through the end of February. Baseball and softball would come in, soccer much less so would come in. Baseball and softball had their regular times pretty much on Sundays, and then maybe 1 or 2 other days of the week. Like Rick, they've been running those softballs. Usually there's Mondays and Tuesdays were years on those nights they had an hour or two in there for pitching and catching. And then soccer would come in. If people decided they wanted to practice, it'd be like, a couple hours during the week somewhere. There were years lacrosse was in there for a couple hours here and there, but the main users we know who they are.
Right.
And then just like pickleball, we know pickleball is going to come in and say, we'll take the mornings, and then they'll figure out what the weekends, whatever's open, they'll want to, try to use at some point if they can. But COVID, yeah.
Yeah, all right, so this is unusual for like so
Oh,
many
yeah.
meetings to be taken up
It
with
was
that.
2 weeks
Okay.
ago, we asked basketball to adjust the schedules,
Yeah.
and that's something that, we never had to
Yeah.
worry about before.
Right.
And so that you add, if you're basketball there 6 hours during the day, now you're adding another hour and a half or more.
We should actually, I know you asked basketball, we should probably ask them what their actual usage is like.
Every day.
Has their end time changed? Because
Right.
if it is, then we should reflect on the calendar.
Well, we
because
got
can
that.
Tell.
Yeah,
Email.
I think
Yeah.
it was. I think it was 2. They ended at 2. Started at 7:30. They were doing like 7:30.
But I meant like
1, and then
we're talking about Monday night practices. What
Right.
time do Monday night practices end? We don't know. And
yeah.
Rick came in, looked at the schedule, came in, is like, I'm requesting at 8. And then we're like, well, we don't know if they're actually out of there at 8. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where we should know every day.
Exactly.
We've asked you to adjust. We just want to know how
Right.
you're adjusting.
What
We're not
is the
going to say
adjustment?
no. We just need to know.
Yeah, we'll follow. We'll tighten up. We definitely need to tighten up the calendar. Anything else on that, Judy?
No, I think I've spoken enough for tonight.
Old business. Reminder that Peter Ames is the primary party for email responses during the month of January. Masking policy. We said we would visit this each time. Considering the numbers are at an all-time high, I don't see us changing that within this month, but we'll readjust it next meeting at the 25th. Have you noticed a difference? Has anybody noticed a difference when you're in town hall, like with basketball, whatever? It's people
I haven't been there
you haven't been,
in
Basketball.
2 weeks.
you haven't been about.
Yeah, they pretty much shut down at Christmas.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about
They had like our group last week is usually 15. We were actually skiing, but they only had 6 kids show up. So kind of shows you where we might be at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming clutter was not a problem at that point.
I'll drop in a couple times this week just to see how things are going.
We haven't even started the softball clinics yet. It's
haven't
just
started.
last. That's all that's in there.
We haven't started baseball yet either.
Yeah.
We were kind of talking beginning of February now. At this
Yeah,
point.
that's what we're looking at too.
I actually got to go down and make sure that the heat tape is running. I thought I turned it on, but I should double check.
It felt okay when I was in there last week. Last Sunday.
The heat tape?
Yeah.
Oh, you know where it is?
In the bathroom?
No, not the heat. No, I think it runs underneath the stage.
Oh, it's on the stage. Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
there's 2 heaters in the bathrooms, and I think the heat tape runs under the stage on the pipe that goes over to the
Right here.
Got it. Okay.
water heating in the
No,
kitchen.
I didn't
yeah.
go onto the stage.
You can go on the stage.
Nope.
Where you put Weber.
Draws the short straw.
All right, ropes course update. Judy.
So last time we met, I hadn't heard from Ryan, and then the day after the meeting, I heard back from
Oh,
him.
really? Okay.
So they have everything in place now with whatever the school puts out with their insurance. They're all set for this year. I let him know that if they had interest in coming under the wrap, basic things like, the different leagues charge their own fees. They cover their own insurance. We take care of field maintenance. Scheduling with them wouldn't really be that much of an issue.
Right.
And that I mentioned we could possibly maybe help start out or replace some of the equipment that might need replacing, or look for grant money. But if they were interested for the following year, I asked them to let us know like early on, not November so that we can plan for it and work through whatever we need to work through with the school. And I think they had said like the schools paid for some equipment
Yeah.
for
yeah,
a
they
certain
own some
amount of time. And then I don't know who else covered on the other, when equipment wore out or whatever, but they were all set and they have everything
That's
lined
good.
up going with the school for this year. So I guess they added the money back in or added
I-
in what they
I mean,
needed.
I think when it comes down to it, it's not really their option whether they're going with the school or not. It's more of, and I think you and Steve went down this road of who does it fall on? Like in town, like the school's been paying for it, but we really don't know how they ended up taking over.
Recland.
Yeah. So and how long is the school going to continue to fund it? I mean, that's the other thing. It's like part of the reason like we can't fund it is we can't afford it. But the thing is that legitimately, I think they're afraid that if all of a sudden, say it comes back under the rec commission, now the school has to pay the rec commission for the courses that they're running, which may end up costing more than paying for the insurance and whatever menial
Yeah,
pieces of equipment they do.
that's true.
Yeah. So I don't know like what they charge,
Yeah.
how it works with the school and all that. I just know they had come to the meeting and they seemed interested. I said I'd follow up with them because
Yep.
the school had cut it from the budget completely.
It seems like if they ran it, it would be pretty self-sustaining.
Right.
You know, you just charge what you need to charge to cover your costs, and
Right. And I mean, it's a little different than the leagues because you have to have certified people that you're, that
I think if it did fall under us, what I would like to see is if we can get more town people using it because you get kids
Advertise
down
it,
there.
yeah.
Well, that's what
everybody
I
wants to get
said. I
on.
said if it was
Companies
under rec too, it
Yeah.
could be on
Right.
our Facebook page, the WhatsApp page, the cable channel, like we would
Maybe,
promote
maybe
it.
the next question with them is now that you secured financing for this year, how can we engage them to actually get some more use? Like you're talking about sponsoring events like snowshoeing, all that. How about an agilities course?
Well, I
how
think
about
we just have to contact them and say, we have a group of people that who wants to do it? Who wants to go out there this spring as part of the rec
No, thank you.
commission and try it out?
No, thank you.
Lived in town for 4 or 5 years. I've never seen anybody on that
No.
course.
I know, either way.
Never
Don't you want
once.
to go up there?
I'm-
Don't you look at it and
I
say,
mean,
oh my God, I want to
I'm
climb
not
up
like
there?
itching to get up there, but
I'll go out and take your picture. while you're out there.
I mean, I'd probably try it.
Well, I just started talking about it when I noticed that it was spreading to the other side by the basketball court when I was out there running and working out one day, and now there was a low area, and I was like,
Considering it is
Yeah,
on
and
rec
it's
property, it is in our best interest to get more involved so that we at least know exactly where it stands. We did mention this to Troy about the insurance, and he was kind of in a little gray area as well about
somebody's
is
gotta
insured,
know
but
where
how
this,
is it
like,
insured?
yeah, how it all. And I'm convinced that's where the workout trail used to be. I think it was taken out there, the one that was up on our website that said we had a
Yep.
exercise trail with exercise stations. I think that's the only place I can see where it could have been in town. But you're right. Like I've never seen anybody up there.
Never, not once.
And in the past, there hasn't been any type of signage as to who to contact if you want to do the group. So I don't know how they got their groups, right? I mean, the last group they did was volleyball from, is it Pinkerton or another high school? It wasn't
Well, it's
even
probably
like ours.
my guess is that realistically they aren't allowed, because they aren't technically under us or even like we're not even paying for anything. They can't put signage up without coming to ask us. And now if you're asking us, now there's a conflict of interest in there somewhere.
I thought Jeff put the signs up.
Jeff put up sign up
They put a
saying
sign up, yeah.
just basically stay off it.
Right. So it's kind of a mess. Like realistically, ownership of it's kind of a mess.
Yeah,
because
right.
it's no one really own. I think we actually own it, but we're not insuring it.
Right.
And I mean, you'd have to go back and forth with the school. Like that's really what it comes down to. And
Well,
then,
yeah.
let's put it this way. If you get it the way we work in town, if you say, okay, we're going to take it back and we're going to insure it and not the school, then when the school's going to be like, well, this is a town facility. You should let us use the town facility. We have rights to it because it's a town. And then they may not end up paying anything for it, which would leave that back on us or someone else. So, I mean, it's really, I think, a
Yeah. But
complicated
every
negotiation.
league or
and-
everybody like pickleball association, they all pay their own insurance, right?
Yes.
The town
Yes.
doesn't cover any of their insurance.
No.
So as an association.
I think
or-
they're paying their own insurance.
They're not paying
And
their
the
own.
school is paying the inspection.
Well, yes, you're right. They're paying the insurance for the activity. The school is paying the inspection fee for the course.
Right.
So are they like a company?
Yes.
They are.
They're their own company.
They are. Okay.
So they're a private company.
Using,
Using our
Public
using
land?
our stuff, yes.
isn't that?
And our equipment.
Serious conflict of interest right there?
Well, even that almost seems like beyond us. That seems like a Board of Selectmen thing. That
It's definitely above my pay grade.
This is this is why Steve was the one exploring it, right? So
Oh.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff was.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff's not
Yeah.
here. Right? That was
Jeff and Steve were.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
So
because we heard, the rumors that
Right.
it wasn't being used and
Yeah.
they weren't getting the
well,
inspection.
we
and
didn't
it was-
even know like
It would have
who
been,
owned it.
yeah. If it's the inspection was $1,000 or $1,300, that would be great if we took it up because that's easy money. And if they're self-sufficient, they could actually pay for themselves. I don't know why they don't. But yeah, it's a mess.
So I
but
kind
it
of
is
just left it there. I'm like, if you're happy with how
for this
that
year.
is,
Yep.
that's fine. If you're interested in anything with rec, then contact us. I did outright say, I don't want to keep bothering you about this, but it's kind of like
Well,
left up in the air.
So the real question is if we look at the school budget, the school board's budget for this year, is the inspection fee for that course covered in the budget? Because really, it's this year's budget that's going to be like, because I think the certification, not the insurance, called the certification, keep it clear. I think that certification comes up every August or whatever it is. So it's in their next budget, their budget that's being approved or going for approval in our vote, in the town vote, like, is it in that budget?
Right.
But so if it's in that budget, then next year they're going to be covered again. If it's not in that budget, then we need to start reacting now.
Right.
Yep.
But
And
even if
that's-
it's not in the budget, right, we have a bottom line budget with the school this year. So money can be taken from one area and put into
The school,
to cover
sure,
something
if
else
they want to.
if they want. Yeah. So just because it's not there doesn't mean it can't
But
be covered. 'cause
It's also
now it's a-
considering they weren't going to cover it. It was moving around and it was
Yeah.
now on somebody's desk. We should be able to figure out what is the actual cost. How much is it cost for the inspection? How much does it cost for the insurance? Who's covering it? While it's fresh on everybody's mind, let's get in there and figure out what are we going to do with it. We need to know as a rec commission what is our responsibility, considering it is on the rec's property. What is the town's responsibility? Who's liable? And what kind of insurance?
It
At
almost,
least
it seems like above
at
us
least
at this point, the more you look.
If not, we should just harvest the trees.
And make money.
because what happens if somebody gets hurt and they come after us and we're like, well, we don't know. I don't like having that. Like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I'd rather know exactly what is going on there. If at least we have the insurance information, so if something does happen, we know who to contact. And then if next year, if the school decides, all right, we're not going to do this again, at some point, I think it'll be in our best interest to put it back under the rec and manage it and help them manage it. If it's not this year, maybe next year.
Well, it could be self-sufficient because
It's gotta be.
I
Steve,
mean,
you could instruct the
if
courses.
somebody from out of town wants to use Darrah Pond, we have like the fields there or Talent Hall. There used to be like a payment fee if it wasn't. Like
So
Litchfield,
that's
so
the
out of
conflict of
town
interest.
people
We
using it
never
would
really
charge
could
more.
charge a company to use town property because it's a town, it's owned by the
Okay.
town, really.
Right.
So the Chaos and Kindness concert, the only reason that really got pushed through and approved is because they were giving 20% back
Back.
to the town. So it was a charitable event.
So we don't know how this all even happened
Right,
with the ropes
because
course and
if-
how it came in with I
Not like the sports leagues, they charge, they make money, but
Yeah.
they also report and they take care of their own
yeah, right.
their own goods. it's not a for-profit. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
We can't, we're not supposed to allow for-profits to profit off public land.
So who takes care of that? Not us.
Steve
I mean, it's
Gannon.
our land.
I think it's the chair that takes care of it.
Yeah. Or bring it to the next level up.
Yeah,
I think it's
Um,
currently, the people currently
yeah.
dealing with it are currently
I
dealing with it.
do think because it's on
I
rec
think it's
land.
been
we
assigned
should-
well.
Yeah.
because
this
it's
is
on
Matt
rec
saying,
land,
Mike saying, I'm out.
yeah.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, I'll help, I'll
We
work
should
with you.
have some kind of idea about
Yeah,
all this stuff just because it is a.
or if, or how can we use it? You know, if we get some people that are interested, how do we engage them and schedule it? I think it would be another,
I don't think people realize they can do that.
It's one of the great wonders of the world.
I was
The
gonna say,
ropes
like,
course.
who wouldn't want to be up there doing the ropes course? I'm itching to give it a try.
all right. The next one I was gonna have Jeff talk about, but he was not here. I asked him to talk with John Brunel about video surveillance and security cameras at Talent Hall and try to figure out, you know, if we want to make it kind of like the town system where you have a badge access, you have security camera where the police department can monitor remotely. And I asked him to talk with John to get an idea of cost. I know he did have some information back, but we'll table this until Jeff is in the meeting with us next week.
It's big bucks, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
How much?
$50,000 in that range.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
50,000.
50,000.
And you're
We have
Lipstick bag and a pig.
exactly. It's
Yeah, we spend 50,000.
what are we protecting? What are we?
Yeah.
We have to ask what we're protecting.
Right,
Inflated
the bomb
basketballs.
shelter.
You know.
The idea is great, and it is something
mice.
that maybe, you know, it's also the idea of we've talked about throwing good money after bad. What are we going to do with Talent Hall? If we put this equipment in it, can we move it to, you know, if someday somebody says, hey, we're going to build you a new rec facility, can we move it? You know, right now, to me, I don't think it's worth investing that cost into it.
No.
More in the next meeting.
Yep. More next meeting. And that's all I had. Anybody else have anything they wanted to bring up? All right. Accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
5 nays, abstained, 500. Thank you, Oscar.